Greetings from the Fredericktown homestead. You want to say never a dull moment. We went out to cut horses today, and the one place where we stopped to cut horses, the guy is usually very friendly. I know him pretty well. He's made a bent hickory piece of furniture for me, a little stool to go with the rocking chair. And he's usually really friendly, but today he wasn't quite so friendly. He just says the horses are in there and they're pretty hard to deal with, and unlike him. So we went in there to do the deed, cut the nuts on the horses, and the first one was a handful for sure. I mean, some of them are. Some of them you're dealing with young males and a year old or so, and some of them are a handful. That second one, the guy I was with, we'll call him Sam, he said the second one's worse than the first, is what the owner said. And well, that second one sure was. We didn't end up nutting him. It was the first horse ever that Sam, in all of his years, had given up on. I advised Sam that that horse is just going to hurt himself if he doesn't kill one of us. He was berserk. He was a handful. And we both sweated profusely trying to get that done. We tried all of the tricks in the trade to get that horse to be tied in the position we needed him in to castrate him, but he at one point he bucked up clear to the ceiling of the barn and bumped his head very solidly on a 10 by 10 beam member and came down with a bloody lip where his teeth had gone into his own lip. And then after that, we couldn't get him to loosen the rope up. He kept pulling on we have a rope around his neck and up through with a halter to make sure that we have control of him, and he pulled on that so hard. We were afraid he was going to kill himself, actually. I got behind and tapped him on the rear end to try and get him to go forward, and he'd jump up and down, but he wouldn't go forward. And he was making sawdust fly, and we were both sweating like dogs, and that was quite an experience. And then finally, in the end, Sam says, I think we might just give this one in. And I said, I suggest we do. I think one of us or the horse is going to get killed. Somebody's going to come out of this dead if we keep going. And this horse was flailing all four limbs in all directions and standing up on its hind legs tall enough to bang his head on the floor above him, and he was going to do the barn damage if nothing else. So we left that horse, and all we had done to that horse was worm him, so all Sam got paid was $8 for the pleasure of working with that horse. And then I'm leaving there, and I am just as thirsty as the day is long. I'd eaten all the ice in my container, and I had nothing left to wet my whistle. And I just sweated out probably 3 quarts working with that horse. So I was on my way down to the Wendy's to get some ice and lemonade, and the phone rang just as I went by one of my frequent flyers phone sheds. Hi, can you turn around and pick up my dad? He's in the phone shack, and I need him right away. Can you pick him up and bring him down here? And so I turned around and went back and got his dad and took him. I got some water out of their well shed, which is tepid water. It's comes out of doesn't come from a spring really. It comes out of groundwater, and it was just too warm to drink. I mean, even as thirsty as I was, I couldn't drink it. I ended up putting it in my little air conditioning rig there in the van to get that going. But I couldn't drink it. So as soon as I left there, I went down and I finally got myself a full glass of ice with lemonade in it. And drank the lemonade, and halfway home I was done with the lemonade and chewing on the ice. I was that thirsty. Just that kind of a day. It was hot. Very hot day. And I'd already mowed this whole lawn here, you see. Glad I got that done. Oh, and then on the way home, or somewhere during the day, I was asked, I was on the way home from the last emergency. You don't have any kittens, do you? And I said, I think I have one left. Bears killed all the rest of them. But I think I got one left. So we swang by here, and I went out to the barn, and that little kitten climbed right up my leg as soon as I went in the barn. He was eager to see me. Glad that even with Bear there, the kitten climbed right up my leg. So we took that one over. His sister-in-law is staying. She rotates around the family, staying a month or 6 weeks at each home. And this is their week to have sister-in-law, the wife's sister. She's special needs, and she's probably in her 50s, I would guess, maybe 60s. Very large lady. She doesn't speak. Inarticulate? No, what's the word that Outdoors with the Morgans use for Hunter? He's nonverbal. And she's nonverbal. And very delicate as far as getting in and out of vans and that kind of thing. I've hauled her several times. Well, she really wanted a kitten. I mean, she just loves kittens. She's simple, and I would kind of compare her to Hunter on Outdoors with the Morgans, and that kind of mindset. Affectionate yet simple, I call it. That's what the Amish call it. Special needs. And he said that you give her a kitten and that's all she really wants. She's content then with a kitten. And they gave her one kitten and it died. I guess she's pretty rough with them. But she can't be as rough as this dog is. And so I gave her my last remaining kitten. And the deal is that if it survives the month or 6 weeks, that I get it back halfway through July or something as a grown kitten. Hopefully big enough to cope with Bear. We have a very pretty sunset here at Fredericktown Homestead. It's a beautiful place to be. I wanted to spend time in the barn in the Quonset hut today, but what I found was when the sun is bright like it was today with no clouds, the Quonset hut is not a place you want to be. With no windows, and it's just like a broiler in there. That's how that cherry got dried out. So I end up on the Amish today on Saturday. Tomorrow's Sunday and it's supposed to be overcast, so it should be a lot nicer in here. I don't know where Oh, I know where my cats are. I left them in the house when I left. That's right, both cats are in the house. I'm kind of looking for the cats here. Forgot that well, before I left, I left them in the house. So I guess I can go in and go to bed. I bought a rack of ribs and baby back ribs. I ate them. And that was a meal. So I don't need another meal tonight. I'm good. That was probably, I'm guessing, close to 3 pounds of meat on that rack. I offered Sam some, and he thought that looked delicious, but he didn't take me up on it. It's a beautiful night. I wish the camera picked it up better, but you get the general idea. That's probably as good a shot as I've gotten so far. It's a beautiful night. Lots of bugs out, lots of birds out. Glad to be home. All right, God bless. I'm going to bed.